Hello and welcome. This is Miles McGeehan, and in this video I want to share how you can use the Groups tool function within CourseSites to create collaborative group projects and/or use the grouping for differentiation purposes. I'm logged in as an instructor, and I'm going to move over to the left-hand side here and move down to my course management tools. Expand the button Users and Groups and select the Groups button here. I'm going to go ahead and create a group. I have two options or two columns here, single group and group set. So a single group would be that I would just want to create one single group, maybe for a very small targeted audience within the greater population of my course. Another handy series of functions is the group set. Imagine I wanted to create a series of groups specific for collaborative projects. I might have a large class of 30 students, and I want to break students into groups of 3 or 4 member teams. The group set would be appropriate for that. When I want to create a group set, I can allow the computer to randomly enroll students into the individual groups. I can choose to allow students to self-enroll into their own groups, or I can, as the instructor, manually enroll students into the particular groups. I'm going to use the random enroll this time, but do know that these other functions exist. I'm going to give this group a name, and this group set, if I call it a generic term, for instance, the term or the title of this big project we're doing, maybe it's going to be a stock market project. I can provide a brief description of what the group is all about here. I'll keep this brief. I can select whether I want this visible to students or if I want to make it hidden for a while until I finish all of the different types of tasks. I'm going to leave it visible for now. Next, I have options for tool availability. This allows the different members within each of the groups to create and use blogs, discussion boards, use the email function, use file exchange, create group journals. They can set up a task notification center, and the group could set up their own wikis. These available tools are more for the students to author and create. It's less about the teacher going in and manually creating a blog for each group. It puts a lot of ownership on the collaborative group to explore and use these tools. It would be of value that you would have modeled how to use some of these tools beforehand in earlier units within your course so that they don't find some of these tools to be foreign or confusing and so forth. If I don't want certain tools available, I can unselect them. If I want to require that in my directions, maybe I require that they have to use the blog, then I can go ahead and give their blog a point value. This would create an entry in the gradebook. I can also add a rubric, and so forth. Or I can allow the tool to be used simply as a sandbox for the group so that they can share ideas, but it doesn't receive any grading and so forth. So there's a lot of options to explore here. You can come back and edit these options at a later time if you want to make something available. You're not locked in stone at this point if you have one of these checked or unchecked and so forth. I don't have any commercial content tools. I don't have anything from McGraw-Hill or whatnot. The module personalization setting. So if I leave this checked, it gives them ownership to be able to use the wikis and blogs to the fullest. If I uncheck this, then it requires that the teacher goes in and architects some of those tools in advance. Let's go ahead and leave this checked. Now, smart views, if I want, if there's areas of the group collaborative project, such as a blog that I want to grade, I can make a smart view so that I can see just this group's assignments and blogs and so forth within the gradebook. So it creates a smart view within the gradebook for the teacher. I can check that, and then I would see Group 1, Group 2, Group 3 in isolation within the gradebook as I toggle between them. Now I can select how many students should be in each group, or I can select the number of groups as a way for allowing the computer to randomly generate the group sizes and the number of groups. Let's say that I want to have 4 groups total in my class. Or maybe I want to have 4 students per group. Either way, if I had a big class, the number of groups would want to change accordingly so that we don't have group sizes that are too large or too small. Again, that's left up to the instructor to decide how they should fashion it. If there are extras, like if the number of students don't break evenly into number of 4 students per group, if there are some remainders, then you can decide how the computer will put those into the groups. Either you can manually finish the grouping process as the instructor, you can have a smaller than the maximum size of 4, or you can just distribute them randomly. Let's go ahead and choose Submit now. Alright, I'm still within the Groups pane here, and notice that I have these stock market groups that the computer created. It automatically enrolled. I have 12 students in this particular class, and it automatically enrolled 4 students per group. So let's go ahead and show you a view of what the students will see here. I'm going to log out as the instructor and log back in as a student. Alright, I'm currently logged in as a student example, and I've done this in a different browser. And so as a student, if I scroll down the page here, I see a button that says My Groups that appears now, and here's that new stock market group. This student was automatically enrolled in the stock market group number 2. I have 2 options here. I can expand and see the different types of functionality that I have within the group, or I can click this little Go to Group arrow, and it shows me all the different people in my group, as well as the tools that I have available and any group assignments that the instructor has created and pushed into our group. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gives you some ideas about how you might use the grouping tool within CourseSites. Until next time, stay classy.